The following podcast has been rated Listener MA. It contains strong language, violence, adult situations, nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Unfiltered Sportscast. I'm your host. My name is Scotty Gurman. Alongside me, as usual, I have two excellent stand-up comedians. First, we'd like to call out the 1984 Kingman County T-Ball Defensive Player of the Year award winner, Mr. Jeremy Joseph.
Hi, Scotty. Quick criticism for you.
Okay.
That, we haven't given you already before the show.
Yeah.
I noticed you start every episode by saying, "What's up, everybody?" You never give them time to answer.
Oh.
Apparently, you don't care about our listeners.
No, I do.
That offends me, Scotty.
I love them.
I'm offended at you on behalf of our listeners.
Get over it.
All right.
And also...
And I'm done.
and also another great stand-up comedian. We like to call him the Wreck, Mr. Derek Alders.
How are you now?
I am doing great. How are you now?
Not so bad.
All right, good. All right, guys. We've got week one in the books. We've got some baseball to talk about. But first, as always, this is a comedy show where we like to take jokes about sports a little bit too far, and even jokes that are not about sports. You can follow us at the Unfiltered Sportscast on Facebook. Follow us at a lot of other places, Unfiltered Sportscast on Instagram, and then the Unfiltered Crew, or at Unfiltered Crew on Twitter. Check us out. So let's start with the week. How was everybody's week?
Mine was pretty good.
Really? How'd you do?
Yeah. Well, Friday, I woke up to a really nice text from my brother.
Nice.
Saying, "Hey, I've got 2 extra tickets to the K-State game tomorrow.
Sweet.
Do you want to go?" Fuck yeah, I want to go. And about an hour later at work, we're working this weekend. Fuck! So I had to work all weekend, so I had to tell my brother I couldn't take the tickets, and I'm sure he found a home for him.
Oh, I'm sure.
But Saturday and Sunday, I got to watch my K-State and Chiefs recorded. After everybody at fucking work had spoiled what happened for me.
Very
like
good.
A bunch of cocksuckers.
Well, that's what normally people at work are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I do work at Cocksucker Inc., so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Sucking a lot of cocks there.
Then you fit the fucking
You would
part.
think I'd be better at it.
You're pretty good.
Yeah.
Just ask me and Derek.
Thanks. You make me blush, Scotty.
Nice. That's my job. All right, buddy. Well, how'd Derek's week go?
Well, I spent the majority of my weekend writing hate mail to Ryan Pace. So that kind of wore me out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then worked the weekend as well. Cut the shit out of my finger at work. It was either that or when I was fingering your sister's puss, one of her teeth caught me. But
they're like razor blades.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then went and saw It too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was good?
Yeah, it was good and a little odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of the movie.
No, I guess the opening scene was loosely based on an actual murder that happened in Stephen King's hometown, where these 2 gay guys were at a fair and they killed them, and it just totally didn't fit the concept.
Killed who? They killed who?
Killed one of the gay guys.
Oh, okay.
And it totally didn't even fit the concept of the movie. Seems like it just got thrown in there to start it. It was just real weird.
Oh.
So, but
that's a weird booth to have at that carnival.
Yeah. Gay.
You got
bash the gay, $1.
You got the dunk tank. You got the one where that one that they still have where you just pick up the fucking rubber duck and it tells you what prize.
Yeah.
You got it. It's floating around. You got the one where you try to shoot out the star, and then you got the beat the gay guy to death.
Yeah.
How many tickets is that one?
I think it's 4.
Oh, I'm not paying that.
Yeah. And then,
for a stuffed bear, no thanks.
I still like the old Family Guy one, and I don't like Family Guy that much, and I haven't watched it in years, but the one where he goes to the guess your weight,
yeah,
and the guy just looks at him and goes, a lot.
I'm sorry. I'm going to go back and make a different joke. Once you beat the one gay guy to death, is the other gay guy the stuffed bear that is your prize?
Depends on how hairy he is.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, you'd always beat the smaller one to death. He's
that's
easier.
awful.
It is awful. Yes, Scotty.
It was odd though. They just threw that straight in, and then I was curious, so I looked it up because I was like, that's an odd way to start the movie, and I guess it was loosely based off a murder that happened in Maine, and it affected Stephen King. It happened about 4 years ago, and he decided that it affected him enough to where he decided to loosely put that in his movie. So
That's weird.
Because apparently killer clowns ain't disturbing enough.
no,
Right.
Clowns with fangs.
you know what we need?
Huh.
A hate crime. That's what we need in this movie.
No.
We need more violence, more
Yeah.
creepy shit.
Exactly. We don't. So I got to go to. I had a fucking busy ass weekend.
Bragger.
I had a lot of fun.
Oh, I went four-wheeling this weekend too.
Oh, that's right, you did.
Yeah.
I got to golf on Saturday, which I hadn't done literally in 2 years. I think was the last time I was out on a golf course. I had played okay.
Did you? I hate it because whenever you hit the 18th hole, you don't get your ball back.
Yeah,
You have to go pay for another round.
No,
What
it
color
wasn't.
ball did you use? I like the orange one.
I
Hit it right in that clown's mouth from that fucking movie.
I used a regular white ball,
Fucking boring. You're wearing penny loafers. What do you expect?
and I got to go to Zubilee for the very first time,
Okay.
and that was a lot of fun.
For those of you not in the Wichita area, why don't you explain what Zubilee is?
I guess a whole bunch of cities have a Zubilee. It's not just us, but it's where
That's a website I subscribe to.
Yeah.
Is that a different Zubilee?
Zubilee Zoo.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the one where the girl gets under the horse.
Oh
And
no, it wasn't that.
boy, I mean, she's good with that thing too.
Yeah, okay, that's great. It's kind of a swanky kind of a thing that you go to our Sedgwick County Zoo, walk around, and there's food everywhere, beer everywhere, private parties everywhere, stage, concert, and stuff. And our zoo's huge. It's like, what did you say? It was like the number seven largest zoo in the country, and
Square footage wise,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, 247 acres.
it's a lot. But it's a fucking big party, and everybody's dressed up fairly nice. But we went this year, and we were overdressed as fuck. Everybody else was kind of casual, but there were some.
It was 100 and fuck out, Scotty.
It was fucking hot.
Yeah.
But there were some gals were they were looking very good. We'll go with that, including my wife.
Were they baboons?
No. No.
They got them tight red asses.
No.
Just makes you want to.
I don't even think the animals are out during that time. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm sure there's probably like elephants and giraffes and shit, but
Yeah, the giraffes are out.
Yeah, they don't take them home
No.
at night. They're still there.
Right. But it was a busy week. We drank way too much, and then had steak dinner and drank way too much then too. So it was
That just
standard.
seems like a dangerous thing. Give free alcohol to people. Somebody, I bet you can't fight that lion.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet I will.
I used to know a buddy that used to get drunk because you could bid on. They have an auction too, and a buddy of mine told me he used to get drunk and you could bid on like naming the animals.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he'd get drunk and bid on try to bid on 10 grand to name a hippo, and then just run the fuck off.
Such a dick.
Wow. Your buddy is kind of an asshole. That charity thinks it's really getting a lot of money, and then
Hippo McHippo face, I'm out.
Oh God, those tickets are expensive as all hell. But it was a really fun time. I'm glad that I got to go one time. I'm probably only ever going to go one time unless those tickets are provided. However, we had some baseball that we wanted to get into. Obviously, we're coming up in the hind end of the season, and Derek.
speaking of hind ends, how about them baboons, huh?
Yeah, how about him?
Right overhead and just so sexy.
Derek is believing
So sexy.
the downfall of the Cubs is imminent.
Yeah, speaking of red asses, they're getting spanked.
Yeah.
They've got
you got a 2-game lead right now for the wild card?
2 on Milwaukee, 2.5 on Arizona, 3 on Philly, and 4 on the Mets.
with 19 games to go.
And they have no Javi Baez. Chris Bryant's out with a knee.
And Javi Baez is out for the rest of the season.
Javi's out for the regular season,
For the regular season, so he could play in the playoffs?
Possibly, but I wouldn't.
What was the injury?
Thumb. Yeah, hairline fracture on his thumb.
That's probably throwing hand, I'm assuming.
That I'm not sure. He did it on a slide, on a head-first slide. So they had, it's not looking good. And they're bad on the road. The pen is atrocious, and then their offense is so streaky, and then you lose Baez. It's and Bryant. I mean,
Bryant's a huge fixture on that lineup.
Yeah,
both those guys are. So really, you got your only hitter that you've got that's worth a shit. You've got Contreras and you've got Rizzo, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So Horner had a nice debut yesterday. That's their big shortstop prospect. He was hitting 280 in Double-A, skipped Triple-A, came straight up, and he had 3 hits and I think 4 RBIs yesterday on his debut. So, but the cool debut that I liked was Danny Holtzen.
Yeah, you were talking about that.
So he was a reliever that was drafted by the Mariners in 2011. He missed the entire 2014 and 2016 season due to surgeries. He's been hurt nonstop, never sniffed the big leagues because he was always hurt. The Cubs took a shot on him this year, signed him to a minor league contract, like $1 million minor league deal, I think. And he came up against Milwaukee. He hit a guy, which I guess that was pretty questionable, and then he gave up a weak single and then struck out 3 hitters. So
Nice.
he threw 15 pitches or 18 pitches and 15 of them were strikes or something.
And then whenever he got through the inning, he went into the dugout and you just saw him lose it, because he finally made it and he started crying, and which rightfully so. When you get to that point, that's a huge weight lifted off your shoulders, especially for as long as he's been trying to get there.
Well, and you figure you're the number 2 overall pick.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna get there, but when you have that derailed for literally 7-8 years from 2011, and he just now gets a shot.
Yeah,
because he's always been hurt. His ERA in Double-A was like 1.26, and he had like 28 strikeouts,
which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
even still for Double-A.
Yeah, Double-A. Usually, the better players I always feel like are in Double-A, not Triple-A. Because Triple-A, you get those 4-tool guys or those 4A guys that can't quite hack it in the majors, and they send them back down to Triple-A.
Yeah.
I always feel like your best prospects are in Double-A. They don't spend a ton of time in Triple-A, and then they get called up.
Right. I'd say that's pretty accurate. The guys, I always think that the guys in AAA that are really, really good are only there for a very short amount of time. You know what I mean? So
that's literally what he just said.
I'm agreeing with him, jackass.
By just repeating him again, disappointed in you, Scotty.
A good old "you're right" that'll do.
You're right.
Thank you.
Assholes.
Yeah, I
Both
think
of you are assholes.
Yeah. Yes, Scott. What the fuck show have you been involved with so far? Yes, we are assholes. That's
job.
What we do. We are not even paid. We're just here to be assholes.
Welcome back to First Take.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'm not even.
Yeah, I think AAA. The main reason for AAA is to get those guys used to playing in front of maybe a little bigger crowds before going on, because that's kind of the last mental barrier that a lot of guys have to get through before going on to the majors.
Well, and I think it's kind of there for another reason. If you got somebody struggling in majors, they send them back down. Obviously, hurt, rehabilitation. There's a lot
Usually
of things.
Usually they send them to Double-A.
Yeah,
for rehab stuff.
Well,
no, they go triple.
They'll go triple for a little bit.
They've never gone triple. Name me one fucking time.
Chuck Knobloch, 1988.
Brad Lidge, 2018.
Knobloch wasn't even around in
Knobloch.
I was gonna say
Chuck Knobloch actually came and played for the Rangers on a rehab assignment when he was with the Royals.
Yeah.
Rick Ankiel, 2013.
The Wranglers, you mean?
What did I say?
Rangers.
14.
Whatever.
No,
they sent him to Texas
Yeah.
to do some rehab. That's how bad the Rangers were back then.
They just brought Zobrist back up through the system, and he played AAA as well. Kimbrel played AAA.
Huh.
Do you want to retract that last statement?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I'm not gonna.
Dick.
I'm still right.
There was one other thing I wanted to go over in baseball, which was Big Papi throws out the first pitch just the other night, which obviously recovered off after dude was fucking shot, and got a huge standing ovation. I want to flat out say that the throw that he had to home plate was awful. It didn't one hop, but it was nowhere near the strike zone. And as a professional baseball player, even though you're in recovery, you better throw a fucking chest shot.
He was a DH.
He was a DH, yeah. He from time to time would play
once in a while.
First, yeah. But
I'm just kidding. I was really pumped to see him out on the bump. That was pretty cool. But that's
clean it
that's
up
what-
though, dickhead.
Yeah, act like you played
Act
the
like
game.
you've been there before.
Right.
He choked.
There was one other
so
thing
nervous.
that you wanted to talk about the home run race.
Oh, yeah.
Which we all three picked. Trout. You picked Trout.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Jeremy picked Yelich.
Mm-hmm.
And Bellinger was the one that was unpicked.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're not even leading the home run race.
No, Pete Alonso from the Mets, the home run derby winner,
Right.
is 5 shy of Aaron Judge's rookie record of 52. He hit 2 the other night. I think yesterday he hit 2, 46 and 47.
Yeah.
So that's a hell of a rookie season for this guy.
No kidding.
I mean, you come out, you win home run derby, and then you're got a damn good shot at breaking Judge's record, or at least tying it.
Yeah, getting pretty darn close. I would assume they have close to 19 games left in their season too. So it's kind of interesting. I think it was really interesting when they brought him up like right before the home run derby, if I remember correctly.
When he's 2 ahead of Trout.
Yeah, so
he came up out of spring training. I think he started on the roster
at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that's right. They extended they gave him a contract after he won the home run derby, I believe. They gave him a bigger contract.
That I don't know.
Okay, well,
I doubt it.
Well,
That's something you do in between seasons.
okay. Well, I
Yeah,
could be
they
wrong.
usually don't.
He's got 4 years left on his rookie deal, so he's going to get he's not even going to be arbitration eligible for a couple more years.
Okay, well, I'm wrong. I'm just thinking out my ass. But that's all I got for baseball, kids.
God damn, I got a you're right and an I'm wrong. This is fucking what a great show.
Happens sometimes, buddy.
I just want to say, the Royals obviously are not going to make the postseason this year. Called it.
You and everybody else that has a
dude.
brain and watches baseball.
I know baseball though. I knew well in advance that they probably weren't going to make the postseason.
A couple years in advance, I think.
Yeah, I knew last year.
There
Probably
goes
wasn't going to happen.
There goes that $10,000 bet on that 100-to-1 odds I made in Vegas.
Right.
A bet that would actually literally shut down the casino and they wouldn't be able to pay you if you had won it.
Well, the good news is for all of us is that this show, I think that we know a lot about baseball. That's probably something we all know quite a bit about. But I think that our strongest suit has to be
Joseph A. Bank. That's my
Joseph
strongest suit.
A. Bank.
Oh,
Yeah.
Men's Warehouse for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to like the way I look.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
So the NFL season kicked off this week, and we're going to start.
It did?
It did.
Huh.
It did. Fantasy football's in full swing. The NFL's in
Yeah,
full
I knew
swing.
fantasy football had started. I didn't realize
Yeah.
the NFL had.
Absolutely. That's how you
Jesus
score
Christ.
points.
Kazoo down.
Kazoo
down.
Kazoo fucking down, Jeremy. Way to go.
Okay, thank God it still works.
All right. Well,
Nothing worse than- I don't even know a good kazoo repairman.
Well, unfortunately, we get to start off with the first game of the week, which just so happened to be Thursday. Derek, how you feel?
I already told you I wrote Ryan Pace hate mail all week
Yeah, I know.
for drafting Mitch Trubisky over
There
Deshaun
it
Watson
is. That's-
and Patrick Mahomes.
That's kind of what I wanted.
That's Sam Bowie over Jordan bad.
Yeah,
That's just bad. And I knew it draft night
I know.
that it was going to be bad.
I cannot believe that.
He didn't even look like a plausible backup.
No.
Well, and we'll get to the Jacksonville Jaguars game that over the week, but their backup quarterback looked better than Trubisky did.
The Jaguars are going to be just fine, I think, with that dude.
I think you're probably right.
He's a rookie this year, I believe.
I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that.
New Orleans backup is better than Mitch Trubisky.
Yes.
Taysom Hill?
Yes.
He's better.
He's a fucking beast too. But
Trubisky is he's mobile.
yeah,
His legs are great. He can't throw to his left.
yeah,
He can't read a defense.
no,
He's can't go through his progressions.
yeah,
He's fucking bad. And it's year 3. And what frustrates me more than anything is he's getting all the same excuses from Bears fans that Jay Cutler got.
did. That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's what pisses me off. Because first it was he didn't have a line and he didn't have receivers and he's been through two different head coaches. He's been through 4 offensive coordinators. He's been through this. At what point is it the guy? Mm-hmm. At what point is it his fault?
right.
Well, and Cutler never looked as bad as what Trubisky did the other night.
No, I don't think so.
Cutler was actually a
Mediocre.
quarterback.
He's mediocre.
He didn't look like a guy who had taken any snaps during the week.
He looked pretty rough.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'm not a Bears fan by any means. I mean, I kind of cheer for him because my dad's a huge, Chicago Bears fan. But I think the most frustrating thing is that you have a defense that held Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers to 10 fucking points all game long.
My defense, by the way.
Huh?
My defense.
Right.
Fantasy-wise.
And the offense can't put up 2 touchdowns in a whole game.
They couldn't put up 1 touchdown.
I know.
All they need, and the other thing that really irritated Nagy's play calling was terrible. They ran it 15 times.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So everybody knows it's going through the air.
Yeah.
And he's missing wide open guys. I watched him do it repeatedly.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. And then whenever it was like 4th and 10, and it was a 51-yard field goal, and you decided that is out of your new kicker's range, and so you go for it on 4th and 10, and you pick up 3 yards.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Let that, you're talking about the kicker. They showed videos of him hitting from like 70 yards, I think, or 68.
Jesus.
In preseason, just like kicking, not against anything.
No, you're good.
Just kicking off a tee or whatever, and he'd hit it for 58 in preseason, and you don't trust him to make a 51-yard field goal?
Yeah, that's
your job.
Yeah, and I think especially if he would have made that kick, that could have been a momentum swing, maybe
even a boost for his confidence.
Exactly. And
what do you say to your kicker when you're like, you know what, we're going to go for it on 4th and 10 because we don't want to lose an extra 12 yards? That defense wasn't breaking.
Yeah.
So let the guy kick it.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can think of is that they still would have been behind. It would have been 7-6 at that point, and maybe you don't have enough confidence in your offense to get you anywhere near that close again.
He said that.
Did he?
Yeah, he said that they hadn't been down there, and he wasn't sure if they were going to get a chance to get that close again.
Yeah.
And I get that on 4th and 4, 4th and 3, not 4th and 10.
Yeah,
I'll go with you on that.
Yeah, everything about the Bears on the offensive side of the ball just looked off.
Yeah.
It looked wrong.
Seriously, Trubisky went 26 for 45 at 228 yards with a touchdown and an interception.
No touchdown.
I'm sorry, no touchdown and an interception.
And
Did he ever complete
to
26?
Adrian Amos.
Yeah.
The former Bear.
Yeah. So, and that's pretty bad.
And he didn't play a single one of those guys during preseason. Mm-hmm. And I don't like preseason, but I think you need to play these guys a couple series. Like
you got to get them all on the same page.
You look at the guys that haven't played in the preseason, a lot of them are hurt, and that's what happens when you don't play them in preseason. Tyreek Hill's now hurt. I don't think he played much preseason, did he?
Oh, yeah, he'd come out and play with the starters. But, they kept the offense pretty vanilla.
Yeah. And as a comparison, Aaron Rodgers was 18 for 30 for only 203 yards. So even though Trubisky had more yards,
Rodgers looked better.
He did look better, but I'd put that on
the
Chicago Bears
though.
Defense more than I do the absolute awful play of the offense. There is literally a picture of a wide open Chicago Bears receiver, which I don't know who it is.
Allen Robinson.
Straight down the middle of the freaking field, nobody covering him, and it's got to be maybe a 15 to 20 yard pass, if that, and he's wide open. And
nobody's there. Or not nobody's there, but he's not.
He missed him. He missed him completely, but he did that multiple times throughout the game, and unless he gets that fixed, I'm sorry, I don't think the Bears are going to be as good as I picked him to be, at least at the beginning of the season.
It's year 3. I don't think it's fixable at this point. I know it's a second year in a new offense, but it's year 3 now, and I don't think you can fix that.
Who's the backup?
Chase Daniel, who's trash. The sad thing is what they're going to do.
He's probably more of a quarterback than Trubisky is, though.
Maybe.
What they're going to do is they're going to keep Trubisky. I would not be surprised to see them extend him in the offseason to a 4 or 5 year deal for stupid money, and you're stuck with him, just like they did with Cutler after he had that one decent year under Trestman. They're going to be stuck with him, and they're fucked, and that defense is just going to be wasted for 5 years, and then they're going to have to rebuild all over again.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I think that's what happens.
I don't.
Pace won't admit his mistake.
Well,
he will not do it.
Well, I don't know. I think there's some level of whenever you look at something as bad as what that game was, and I don't think it's gonna end up that way.
I don't know. Watching Deshaun Watson last night really fucking got me even more pissed off because I got to deal with Mahomes all last season, but watching Deshaun Watson lead that team down, and they should have won that game.
Won the game,
but lead that team down 2 plays.
I know,
2 fucking plays.
We'll get there. You just hold your horses there. We got Philadelphia and Washington, which was actually Jeremy's lock of the
That
week
was
last
my
week.
lock of the week, and it almost did not come true.
And no kidding, Washington went up at halftime. They were up 20-7.
It was
on the
20 to
Eagles.
nothing at one time.
20-0 at one point, and then the Eagles did score. But at halftime, it was 20-7. And then the Eagles kind of figured out, holy fuck, we need to start playing football. And then they outscored in the second half, and it was 25-7 in the second half. And so it ended up being 27-32. Eagles ended up pulling that one out. Case Keenum, I'm actually a little bit impressed with. If you want my honest opinion, I thought he did fairly well. He did 30 for 44 for 380 yards and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. So, yeah, I like that fairly well. Carson Wentz, 28 for 39, 313 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. It was a pretty decent game. I gotta say that I may not think that the Redskins are as bad as I made them out to be.
There were a lot of games that with big fourth quarter comebacks, second half comebacks and shit, including last night, the New Orleans game last night. But I know
That was a
are we
hell
going
of
to
a
get to
game.
that?
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Oh, okay. I hadn't heard.
But Darius Geis goes down, and they did not even suit up Adrian Peterson this game.
Yeah, he was the first time he was ever healthy, a healthy scratch.
Healthy scratch, didn't play. Darius Geis goes out, and now he is, I believe he got a high ankle sprain, if I remember correctly, so he's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks. So Adrian Peterson is now probably going to be your numero uno, I would bet, because Chris Thompson's probably going to be more of a scat back there.
56 years old.
He's a fucking immoral piece of shit. I mean, the guy he recovered off of that ACL tear, and he's
Less
done
than
well.
6 months, wasn't it?
It was a ridiculous amount of time. Exactly
Most
how
guys
much I don't
take
know.
a full year,
Yeah.
and it was about half that.
Back into the swing of things.
It's a meniscus injury for guys.
Meniscus. I still think they
Torn?
said.
I don't know that. It just says it's a meniscus injury.
Well, yippee.
I'm going to go with ruptured meniscus.
Well,
I need a transplant.
there you go. So moving on to New York Jets and Buffalo Bills. Don't want to spend a whole heck of a lot of time on this one. I was actually really impressed with the Buffalo Bills because this was actually in New York. Robbie Anderson kind of got held back. Darnold didn't really do a hell of a lot.
It was going to be in New York either way.
Well, sure.
Not
but
technically. The Jets play in New Jersey.
That's,
Really?
the
Jets and the Giants both.
So where was this fucking game?
New Jersey.
So you lied.
I did.
You don't give a fuck what's up with the listeners, and now you're going
Sorry.
to lie to them.
This guy's a goddamn liar.
Josh Allen goes 24 for 37, 254 yards with 1 touchdown and 2 INTs. And Sam Darnold, 175 yards, 1 touchdown on 28 of 41. Buh.
God, I think Sam Darnold is the whitest name ever.
It might be.
That's goddamn.
Maybe. Le'Veon,
If you turn it around, though, and go Darnell Sam's, that's a black dude.
That's the blackest name ever. Yeah,
For sure.
the blackest name ever.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a comedian. so
I know.
A great
right?
one.
Shut up. I wanted to point out, though, Le'Veon Bell did actually fairly well. Rushing, he had 17 attempts, 60 yards. And he had 6 receptions for 32 yards. So pretty decent game for Lev's first game as a Jet. But the Bills ended up winning that one 17-16. Moving on, Falcons-Vikings. Holy shit, Vikings are going to be good. I'm calling it right now.
You think?
I'm dead serious. The Vikings are going to be good. That was kind of my sleeper in that division.
See, I think the Falcons are shit.
I don't think the Falcons are shit.
And I called that from the beginning. Much like the Royals.
Okay.
My bold Royals prediction, I wasn't expecting anything out of the Falcons.
I don't think they're bad. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
I think Matt Ryan's due for a pretty decent year, and other than the 2 interceptions that he had, he went 33 for 46 with 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 INTs. And
What did Julio do?
I'll
Did
get
he
there.
play?
yeah, he did. Let's see. I don't think he
Didn't
really,
he go out of the game early?
6 receptions for 31 yards. Not a whole hell of a lot, but he had 11 targets too.
I thought he got hurt early in the game.
Could
Didn't he come?
be.
Maybe it was just precaution.
Probably. But Kirk Cousins, he had, this is no joke, he had 8 attempts, or he was 8 of 10
For the whole game?
the whole game.
They ran the whole
They
time?
ran the whole fucking time.
Wow. It shows what they think about fucking Atlanta's run defense.
Oddly enough, they kept running the fake punt.
He had 98 yards and 1 touchdown. I'm gonna make sure that this is right, but that
That seems like a halftime update.
I'm telling you, that's what it looks like. Adam Thielen. Let's see.
There's a new gunslinger in town.
I'm serious. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me.
Yeah, but for how many yards and how many?
No, that's the whole game, kids.
No, I mean 8 of 10 for how many yards?
97 yards. Rushing yards, Minnesota 172, and majority of that was...
That's not just for a quarter, huh?
No. No. They just got...
Well, I mean...
His final score was 12-28.
If you don't... I mean, the safest way to play, if you don't have to pass...
Yeah.
I mean, you're certainly at a lot less risk for turnovers and injuries to your quarterback if you don't have to pass, and if they can't stop the run... You keep fucking running it. I mean, that's just how that's fucking football, Scotty.
I know, but I'm impressed with the Vikings defense. That's part of the deal. That's the whole reason why they won, and I think they're going to be a difficult team to get through. Especially after the Bears' performance, I may actually eventually switch my pick and pick the Vikings out of that division.
It's too late. We already picked.
I know we already picked. I'm just saying, after the first fucking week, I may go. Yeah, Vikings are looking. Pretty damn strong.
I saw you with a stone and a chisel. You etched that shit.
I etched that shit. Okay. All right. Here's my calm the fuck down game of the week over week 1. The Baltimore Ravens over the Miami Dolphins. Baltimore goes out and lays an absolute ass whooping on the Miami Dolphins and it's at Miami. It was 59-10. Now, Lamar Jackson. I said Lamar Jackson.
You said Mark Jackson.
I said Lamar Jackson had himself a pretty damn good game, Derek.
Yeah, he scored half my team's fantasy points.
He sure as shit did.
33.
So, first quarter scored 21 points. Second quarter scored 21 points. And then they kind of went on cruise control for the rest of the game, 10-7 in the second half.
He did all of it through the air.
All of it. I don't even think he had a rushing attempt, did he?
He did.
Oh, I had Mark Ingram on my team, and he had 170-some yards and 2 touchdowns or some shit. No, it wasn't 170 yards. He had 2 touchdowns.
No, I don't think he had any designed runs, though. It was 3. He had 3 attempts for 6 yards.
Yeah.
But passing-wise, he went 17 for 20 with 324 yards and 5 fucking touchdowns. Woo!
Well, there's a lot of rumbling coming out of Miami from not just the fans, from the players.
And from the hurricane.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really causing some havoc. Maybe that's what the problem was.
Maybe.
High winds?
Yeah, maybe.
Sloshy field? I don't know. But, no, that the staff there is intentionally throwing games to get better draft picks.
And we talked about this last episode whenever...
I wasn't here.
Yeah, you were.
Oh. He checked out, though.
Okay, I wish I hadn't been here.
Okay, that's probably true.
Yeah.
But as Derek was saying, I think you said how many players off the calendar were not there
8.
anymore?
8 out of 12
8
are
out
gone.
of 12 players are gone. And there's rumors kind of swirling in the Miami locker room that a whole bunch of guys either A, don't give a shit, or B, want to get themselves traded and get the fuck out of there too. And I don't know necessarily what it is. I'm assuming it has to deal with GM, owner. I have no idea, but nobody wants to be in fucking Miami right now. Because they're fucking awful.
My favorite was that they were booing the shit out of Fitzpatrick, and they put in Josh Rosen, and like 45 seconds later, Josh Rosen threw a pick.
Yeah, it was awful.
And I get where the players are coming from as far as not wanting to be there. You don't work as hard as you have to get to the NFL to not want to win. And when you have a team that is putting you in a position where you can't win,
right?
And it doesn't sound like even trying to be competitive.
Yeah, it's like they just don't give a shit.
They don't want to accidentally win a close one.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if they go 0 for this year.
Who? Miami? Oh, no. I'm with you there 100%. I completely agree.
I think in our picks, I had them winning three games this year.
Games or three.
2 games. I didn't think they were going to be this bad. I knew they weren't going to be good, but I didn't think they'd be this bad. When you're hanging your hat on Fitzpatrick, I fucking hate that asshole.
I love him.
That fucking bearded prick.
maybe that's why I like him. Bearded brothers.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, well, you go be his brother.
Okay.
Take his fucking uppity Harvard fucking face.
In his Wonderlic test.
Yeah. And shove it up your ass.
Moving on. Here's my surprise of the week game. What do you think I'm going to guess? Anybody guessing?
Well, I can see it,
Okay,
so
fair.
I mean, if you'd like me to guess, I still can, but I'll take all the piss out of it.
So, the Tennessee Titans go into Cleveland and beat the ever-living shit out of them. 43-13. Jesus Christ, what happened?
It was a close one until like midway through third quarter, and then all of a sudden, it's like the Browns. I don't know if the Titans turned it on or if the Browns just quit playing.
Well,
It was like 17-13 or something for a while, and
well, I'll tell you why. Is because even though Baker Mayfield went 25 for 38 and 285 yards and 1 TD, he threw 3 interceptions. 3. Mm-hmm. And he also injured his hand. He went into for some kind of checkup on that.
well, they braced it with Odell Beckham's watch.
Yeah, exactly. Which that was kind of interesting. I didn't even hear about that until today.
The guy wore a $200,000 fucking watch on the goddamn field.
And says he's going to keep on wearing it.
Well, okay, but what happens when you're hand fighting for the ball,
Sure.
and you fucking whack the defender on the wrist and wind up busting his wrist because you got a hard ass watch on your fucking hand?
Don't get me wrong. I think that's stupid as fuck, but wear it, I guess.
Well, yeah, it just what a fucking arrogant thing to do too.
Sure, that's where I'm at.
What an arrogant thing to have a $200,000 watch, let alone wear it playing rough and tumble football.
Yeah.
Because they ain't playing touch, are they? This ain't 2-hand on the back.
Not that I'm aware of.
And it's not flag football. Jerome Bettis runs that league.
When I was watching the Chiefs game, I got to watch a good amount of this game because somebody pulled the fucking plug
Well,
in Jacksonville.
The questions that I had with Marcus Mariota, and this is part of the reason why I don't think Tennessee is going to be very good this year. And mark my words, I still do not think Tennessee is going to be very good. I just don't. But Mariota goes 14 for 24, and it's all right. But it's 248 yards and 3 TDs, and no interceptions. And
It's contract year for Mariota and Jameis this year too.
That's kind of what it's like. I think that at the beginning of the season, because this is what Mariota does, he'll have a couple of good games, but some way, somehow, he always finds himself to be playing through some kind of an injury, and that's whenever he has a downfall throughout the season. And so I get the hype from this game because I think that Cleveland is actually better than what they showed over the weekend, but Tennessee just flat out went in there and punched him in the mouth and stopped the hype for a second. But I do think that Cleveland will be better. I just do.
I feel like one of those two guys is going to get extended between Mariota and Winston. It seems like usually,
Jameis?
One of those two guys is going to get extended. Who do you think it'll be?
Oh no!
One of them will. One of them's going to do just enough to get extended.
That's like picking between two piles of shit. That should be the shitty situation for today's episode. God.
Well,
Neither. Have him trade quarterbacks straight up.
Well, here's another thing Mariota does. He collects very rare Russian nesting dolls.
Oh, does he really? That's interesting.
Yeah, look it up. You won't find any place that says that's not true.
Fair.
This is like the Hunter Pence thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hunter Pence eats soup with a fork. Shit like that.
Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought Mike Pence.
Great.
He doesn't eat soup with a fork. It's too phallic shaped.
He loved the beginning of it too, though.
It's so awful politics. God damn it. Stop.
Stephen King is a genius.
Fucking hate politics. All right, moving on. Los Angeles Rams go into Carolina, and it was a pretty close game. 30-27. LA ended up winning that one.
Right around 3 points, then?
Oh, yeah, right around 3 points. But Jared Goff did not have his best game. He went 23 for 39, 186 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Todd Gurley, not too bad, but he kind of had some split target share with Malcolm Brown.
Who I believe started off was going to be the third string guy, wasn't he?
Yes.
I believe so.
And
Darrell Henderson was supposed to be the second, the running back rookie out of Memphis, and he just had an atrocious preseason, probably because he was like, you know what? Derek drafted me. Fuck this.
Malcolm Brown had 11 attempts for 53 yards and 2 touchdowns. Todd Gurley had 14 attempts, 97 yards, and 0 touchdowns. Fantasy football, pay attention. But my absolute suck it of the week during that game, Cam Newton didn't do diddly shit, and it really ticked me off.
He was dressed very well, though.
He dressed like a
I
gal.
wonder how much his watch was.
I don't know. Cam Newton,
I wonder what section it came from.
he was 25 for 38 with
Men's and women's.
239
The Superman
yards,
section.
0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Christian McCaffrey, on the other hand, who's my running back, was 19 attempts for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns, so that helped me out, but I still lost. So, and this is a perfect example.
Nobody gives a fuck about your fantasy football team,
I'm
Scotty.
just throwing that in there. St. Louis, I still think, is going to be pretty decent. Same thing with Carolina. I think they're going to be fairly good team this year as well. Cincinnati Bengals at the Seattle Seahawks, which was my lock of the week, and holy shit.
This one went into overtime, didn't it?
No, it did not go into overtime.
Or no, that
But
was,
it was
Arizona
very-
and
Detroit,
Detroit,
which
yeah.
was a tie.
It was very, very
Yeah.
close. This game was very close. Andy Dalton,
Your boy.
oh, no, not my boy. 35 for 51, 418 yards, though, and 2 touchdowns.
without AJ Green.
Yes. He spread it around. John Ross had 7 receptions, 158 yards. CJ Uzoma, 4 for 66. I mean, he tossed the ball around, but John Ross is
Well, he had to. Joe Mixon got hurt pretty early in the game, went out with a high ankle sprain.
yeah, and Giovanni Bernard had 7 attempts for 21 yards. So the rushing game really wasn't there. Joe Mixon only had 6 attempts for 10. So that's
Again, went out early, high ankle sprain.
yeah.
That was my first round draft pick.
Russell Wilson, which we've said from the beginning of the season that the Seattle Seahawks are going to run. They're going to run the fucking ball. He only had 14, or he was only 14 for 20 attempts with 196 yards, but he did have 2 touchdowns. So Chris Carson, 15 attempts for 46 yards and a touchdown. It's just going to be this way for the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to, hopefully rely on their defense, I think, and I don't know if Clowney played a whole heck of a lot in this game. You wouldn't know that.
No,
would
he
you?
was busy playing it too.
Okay, that makes sense.
He was the clown.
That was his ordeal. So Seattle ends up winning that one. So moving on to the Colts and the Chargers.
I just picture that clown. I'm Jadavion, the dancing clown. You like popcorn, Russell?
Oddly enough, the who was it? The Seahawks? They picked up. Is it Tim Roth?
What?
Who is it that plays Pennywise?
Oh God, Tim Curry back in the day, but the new one I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the Seahawks picked him up to take Clowney's place. That was a joke that went nowhere. That was because I didn't have enough information.
For once in your life.
Indianapolis at the Chargers. Ended up final score 24-30. Colts fans, you're going to be okay. Jacoby Brissett had a pretty decent game. 21 for 27, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, no INTs.
For a guy who was planning on riding the pine,
That's
up
pretty
until
solid.
a week ago, yeah, it's all right.
Against the Chargers, who, even though it's a home game, they make it look like there's a shitload of people in there when there's really like only, 25,000 people that are in that stadium, something like that. So I'm kind of pumped. I'm glad that he's stepped up, and I think Jacoby Brissett won't be that bad of a quarterback for you. You're going to have a little bit better than a mediocre year.
Are they still playing at the LA Coliseum?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which holds like 100,000.
No, not the Chargers. I think if the Chargers are
The
still
Rams play there.
the
maybe.
Rams play in the Coliseum, the Chargers play at their fucking soccer stadium, which only holds like 25 to 30,000 people. Something
So they
stupid.
do
that.
play on a football field.
Yeah,
I think we all keep calling them San Diego. Yeah, I've done it. I think you just did.
Did I? I didn't
we all
mean
keep
to.
we
Sorry.
we all do it. They're the goddamn San Diego.
Yes, that's one of those teams. They've always been the San Diego Chargers. They will always be the San Diego Chargers. I don't care where they go, unless they go to Phoenix.
And then they'll be
the Cardinals.
Okay, fair enough. Phillip Rivers, 25 for 34, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. They're going to be good. Chargers are going to be good this year. They're going to give the Chiefs a run for the money, and I'm excited to see how that happens. Let's see. San Francisco at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How'd you guys think? Did you guys watch
I didn't know the Pirates were from the South.
Yeah, they're right around,
Oklahoma.
No. Large body of waters.
Well, the 49ers, San Francisco, that's where the Butt Pirates are.
Oh, that's true.
Stay out of Derry, Maine.
Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo is horrible. I think that was an absolutely awful investment for San Francisco. What do you think?
No, I mean it paid off outside of getting hurt. He didn't lose a game when
No,
they
he
first
won.
got him.
He won.
It's one game.
I know it's one game, but
I don't think he's horrible.
I don't really like
He's
it.
really good on Madden.
Yeah. No.
Madden 18. I don't really get the 19 yet.
Yeah.
20's out now.
Tevin Coleman goes down. He's hurt. He's out
Still only have 18.
2 to 4 weeks. Jameis Winston's awful too. 20 for 36, 194 yards, 1 TD, and 3 interceptions. Ugh. Buccaneers. That's gonna be a rough one this year.
Mitch Trubisky plays quarterback like I play quarterback in Madden. Like I just look at Allen Robinson, and then if he's not open, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then I either throw it away or it gets picked off.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to fast forward to this game because I want to talk about this Dallas Cowboys New York Giants game. It was in Dallas,
Right.
and I will give
Who was the home team though?
the Giants.
Okay.
Yeah, they switched.
I heard they were going to start doing that.
Yeah. The fans be a little bit more welcoming to the opposing team that's traveled. That's what they do.
That happens a lot in Dallas, actually. You get about a 50-50 mix because in Dallas has the largest national fan base of any team, but they also are the most hated team in the country. And so people will go to Dallas, if they're anywhere nearby, just to watch them lose. They really do. There was a game against the 49ers a couple of years ago where I'm not shitting 3/4 49ers fans in Dallas.
That's awesome.
It was great. It was the most ridiculous, lopsided thing I'd ever seen.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so did either of you get to watch the game?
Part of it, yeah.
Part of it? Okay. So Dak Prescott went 25 for 32 with 405 yards and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Zeke.
Perfect QBR.
Yeah, and 13 attempts for Zeke at 53 yards. Pollard was 13 attempts as well for 24 yards. First of all, I only think that's just because this is week 1. Zeke hadn't been with the team for a while, so he's going to get he's going to get all of his target share back probably beginning of either next week or the following. But Cowboy fans, this is also against the Giants. It's at home. It's first game of the year. I like what I saw about out of the wide receiving crew. Yeah, but just pump the brakes just a little bit. I don't think the Cowboys are Super Bowl champs yet.
Well, I got to give it to Dak. You want $40 million, go out and show you're worth it.
I get that.
And you have a game like that.
Yeah.
You do that all year, pay him.
Yeah, and the defense looked great. The defense was exceptional. But they were also playing the fucking Giants.
Yeah,
and
they were playing.
I can't stress that enough. Saquon Barkley looked okay, right? I can't stress that enough. I don't have a lot of hope in the Giants winning more than 3 games this year.
What did the final score wind up being?
17-35.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I saw Eli do a couple of good things, but not much. Yeah, I mean, Dak looked really good, but it was almost like they were playing against a junior college team. It was not the competition they're going to see from the Eagles.
Right.
It was, or the rest of the NFC, really.
Really?
But yeah, I mean, this is probably going to be another guaranteed win when they go to New Jersey. I'm not going to lie to people. But yeah, I think for Cowboys fans, it's too early to get too terribly pumped up for this.
Yeah.
But I got to hand it to them.
Yeah,
They really looked good.
They did.
Playing this game. I mean, maybe the Giants are better than we thought. I guess we'll find out next week.
Yeah, that's right.
Who do the Cowboys play next week?
You would ask me that. I was actually going to that next slide, but
We're going to go into that next week.
no. I do want to move on though, real quick before
Move.
Lions and Cardinals. That was the tie. We briefly touched on that.
They play at Washington next week.
Oh, that's right. It is at Washington.
Well, so they'll look pretty good again.
I'm curious about that game though, especially with it being at Washington and the way that
I heard you were bi-curious about it.
No.
What I heard. I mean, I said it, but I heard me say it.
I was bike curious.
Oh. Bikes! Bikes!
If you don't get that
Stop
joke,
selling drugs.
Tom Segura, folks. Check him out.
Tom Segura, just type in Tom Segura and bikes.
Boy, these are two teams who they cannot even win for losing. This is
Second year in a row we opened up with a tie.
is it? Wow.
Yeah. Cleveland and Pittsburgh last year
That's right.
tied. And then Cleveland tied, I think, again.
Yes.
Yeah.
The fact that the NFL does
like the
this is
Bengals
so
or something. I can't
stupid.
remember.
But at the same time, who gives a shit about this game? I mean, it's not going to come into play at the end of the season.
It wasn't Cleveland that tied again. It was Minnesota and Green Bay tied like right after that.
Okay. The only thing I had to point out was Kyler Murray, 29 for 54, 308 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT.
But boy, did they had to storm back.
That's it. I know. Give him credit. First game.
I mean, they
him
were I was watching the NFL Network and they were cutting to plays from that game, and the commentators were even like, he has gone 3 and out every series.
Yeah.
And that went up through the third quarter, and then all of a sudden he just started turning it on.
Fitzgerald went apeshit that game, too. Fitzgerald, I think, got 150 yards receiving and a touchdown.
I missed the fuck out of that.
Larry Fitzgerald, the famous Irishman.
Yep, that guy. All right.
The
Larry
dreadlocked
Fitzgerald.
Irishman.
So now after trying to go as fast as I could through that, the games that I really wanted to
I'd like
talk
to
about.
talk more about it.
The games I wanted to talk the most about was the Chiefs at the Jaguars, especially being a Chiefs fan.
Talking
Jeremy,
about the Jacksonville Jaguars?
the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And
What-
Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay, all right.
What did you think? How did you like the look of your team?
I thought they looked pretty good. Offense firing all cylinders. Mahomes picked up right where he left off.
That's awesome. Moving on. So I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
We can move on. Everybody knows what happened.
No, I go ahead. I wanted to hear what you had to say.
Sammy Watkins
I'm
looked
just kidding. Go ahead, Derek. Yeah,
outstanding.
what'd you think?
What'd you think, Derek? I think Scotty should shut the fuck up. That's what I think.
Sorry, I had to. I don't ever get a pick on you. You always pick on me.
Yeah, that's my job. You fucking keep it normal. You keep a civil tone, motherfucker.
Sorry.
I will not stand for it. I'm going to stay sitting. Anyways, no, I thought, Mahomes looked great. Sammy Watkins was, I think, probably the highest point scoring receiver in fantasy. 190-something yards and 3 touchdowns.
I know he was definitely in the top 3. I think there are a couple other ones. Hollywood Brown was one of the ones that were up there. Gallup was up there too. But yeah, he had an excellent game.
Damn, I drafted the wrong Hollywood. I drafted Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that's a lineman.
Why would you do that, brother?
I don't know. Linebacker.
He just leg drops people. The worst fucking finishing move in professional wrestling
But the
history.
best celebration because he does the
Because
whole
he does the
hand
whole
thing
hand
every
thing.
time he scores a touchdown.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is none. He's never scored. Actually, no. Didn't he want to be an NFL player?
I don't know. I know he made a sex tape, so he did score.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
And he likes
He
taking
ate
off
like
his
a
shirt,
pig.
like tearing it from the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, we all know what he does. Thunder
daughter.
Lips, they called him. Anyways, where was I at with this? Oh, yeah.
Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins looked great. Kelsey looked great. Tyreek Hill went down with an injury.
Early.
Yeah. It didn't look too severe. The trainers were like working on him on the sidelines. He was moving it around, but now they're saying it's, I guess, not broken clavicle, but I'm going to say
I think it was dislocated or
sprained clavicle. Well, clavicle is another name for the shoulder blade, which you can't really.
Collarbone.
I'm sorry. Scapula is the shoulder blade.
There you go.
I don't know that you can really dislocate the collarbone.
No. I'm sure you could.
Not without breaking it, I wouldn't think.
No.
But it is the fastest healing bone in the human body.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
Fastest healing parts of the body, tongue and anus. That is true.
I believe you.
Jeremy's injured both of his at the same time once.
Trying to get from one to the other.
It was the old human centipede.
I actually sprained my abdominal muscles.
That's so nasty. Go ahead.
Oh, I wanted to taste that fucking Strike Force, dude. Anyhow, defense, hard to tell. I mean, Nick Foles went out early for Jacksonville,
Yeah, he did.
and their backup came in and did pretty damn good.
He did. He did. I was actually really impressed.
I would
with
suggest
that,
anybody with a fantasy football team, if you're looking for a decent backup quarterback, he might be a good guy to go with.
Yeah, he's got some options.
Good guy, though.
Good guy. As long as he's a good guy, though.
Yeah.
His name is Gardner Minshew, which I figured you'd like that name.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Just figured I'd try.
I don't know why you would have thought that.
That's sad.
I fucking hate that name. That name made me go so soft.
That's sad for Nick Foles to be out. He's on IR. They've got him all the way out till I think week 11 is the earliest he can come back.
Right.
So and he looked good.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was out there, and then Frank Clark just hit him and broke his collarbone.
Broke his
on a
clavicle.
Perfectly placed long touchdown pass. Mm-hmm. I mean, he put it right in there on the fucking guy's hand.
Yep. The one thing I did want to ask you though, Jeremy, is did you see the running back splits?
I did, and I really liked what I saw from McCoy.
Okay, because that was what I was going to ask. Damian Williams had 13 attempts for 26 yards, and LaShawn McCoy comes in right out of the gate. 10 attempts, 81 yards.
Yeah.
Williams did get the touchdown, though.
Yes.
But that's a pretty even split.
It is. I would say that McCoy came out
Later.
more in the second half,
Yeah.
but he's a guy when you need clock chewed up, which the Chiefs are going to be playing with the lead for a lot of their games, and they're just going to have to try and kill the clock.
Yep.
If you're wanting to protect your quarterback, he's a guy who's just going to be able. You can run it right up the gut with him, and he's going to really do a nice job. I think I'm really glad to have him.
I am too. And Chiefs did end up winning that game 40-26, if I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Final three. Let's get through it pretty quick. Steelers and Patriots. Patriots may win the Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
Especially with Antonio Brown, which
Didn't play.
did not play. But, God, it would have been awesome if he did. Against the Steelers.
Oh, Jesus.
Just to double fuck.
to watch him break him in half. I know that they would have fucking tried something.
I'm sure they should have.
As our friends up in Letterkenny would say, fuck you, Brownsy. He pisses me off so bad.
Yep.
Everything about this pisses me off so bad. His mother should be ashamed of him, but she's probably too busy letting hobos spit in her mouth.
Yep.
That's the type of fucking whore that must have raised this jack off. He is. What the fuck happened to this league that has put so much emphasis in recent years on players being role models and protecting the integrity of the shield? You let this guy get kicked off the team that he was rightfully on, that gave up players to get him, that traded shit to get him from the Steelers. You let him go and behave like a spoiled, childish, whiny little fucking bitch until they kick him off the team. And then it should be incumbent on every other team to say, look, we're not going to stand for this. We're not going to fucking pick him up. And the fucking Patriots, not only does he land on his feet, he lands at what the team that has been basically the gold standard of winning. He's going to now be the number one receiver for the greatest quarterback of all time. They might as well have just handed him a fucking Super Bowl ring. This is the message they sent out. Yeah. Here's how you get what you want. Throw a fucking fit.
Yeah.
Throw a tantrum and act like a fucking jack-off. You're like a spoiled kid throwing himself on the fucking floor at the store till he gets the toy he wants.
That's true.
Fuck this asshole.
And he wanted to go to New England. New England wanted him whenever the Steelers were trying to trade him out.
They offered a first, didn't they?
I can't remember the exact, but the money was, if I remember correctly, the exact same that he's getting now. But the trade was good. The trade was a much better trade than that of the Oakland Raiders offered. And they took the Oakland Raiders offer. And this is kind of I agree with you that I think that this is total bullshit of Antonio Brown to do this shit. But at the same time, on his side, if you're really rooting for just Antonio Brown, this is pure fucking genius. Okay?
It's a fucking team sport, though. That's the thing. Who cares about Antonio Brown?
I know. But as a person, this is genius because he goes to the team that his former team wanted him to go, so they didn't have to worry about him in the playoffs because the New England Patriots won him. So what does he do? He goes out there and he realizes, I really don't want to fucking be here. So I'm going to bitch and moan and cry and throw temper tantrums and cause all kinds of drama in the locker room. I'm going to call out the fucking GM. I'm going to cuss him out.
Threaten to punch him.
Threaten to punch him in the face and call him a cracker, I think is what he said at least once.
At least go with honky. That's my favorite.
Honky. At least call him a honky.
Yeah.
But then he does a team apology and then shares all the shit on social media, and then he's released the next day, and he has somebody videotape or record him freaking the fuck out and going all excited because he was released. And then days later, guess what? He's a New England Patriot.
Hours later,
he's a New England Patriot. So if you honestly think that there was no collusion in this whole ordeal whatsoever, you're fucking wrong. Not to mention that, but Antonio Brown even hired a social media consultant.
Allegedly.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I was pretty sure about this.
No, he did.
He made it very public.
And he hired a social media consultant to make sure he gets kicked off the team faster. What do I need to do to get kicked off the fucking team as fast as possible so I can go someplace else where I can actually win? And guess what? That's exactly what happened. So,
well, and here's what really fucking back in the early 90s, lead singer of Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose. This is the way he used to treat fans at concerts. He would fucking delay concerts for 3 hours because something wasn't set up the way he wanted. He just didn't give a fuck about anybody. He thought the world revolved around him. So my new nickname for Antonio Brown is going to be Axl, because the place I'd like to see him the most is stuck to the undercarriage of a fucking car.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
That's the only place I want to see him, because I do not want this to be a fucking trend. Yeah. Has he shown the rest of the NFL players who are stuck on teams that they don't necessarily want to be on, this is how you get what you want? Fucking throw a fit?
Yeah.
Well,
exactly. You're professional athletes. Where's the fucking professionalism?
I think it's what started the whole fucking thing, though, was the Le'Veon Bell deal. I mean, Le'Veon holding out all last year, and then Browns demanded the trade after that, and then you had Elliott holding out, and you had Gordon holding out. Until this new CBA comes around, I think you're going to see a lot more of it now because players are getting what they want.
Yeah.
Bell got what he wanted. Brown got what he wanted. Zeke got what he wanted. The only one that hasn't is Gordon, and that's just because the Chargers owner is notoriously known for being cheap.
Sure.
So their stadium only holds 20,000 people.
Yeah. So they're getting a brand new one built, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, you're going to see a lot more of it. And I can't stand Antonio Brown either. And I really wish he would have played that game, because I think there would have been a fucking target on his head.
I think there would have been there would have been a fist fight.
And the Patriots have drawn very close to the Dallas Cowboys as far as teams I hate. That
was what I was going to ask you, because when you were saying that Dallas is the most hated team, I think New England is crept up there too.
Yeah, but it's
always been my least favorite. Thanks, guys.
Well, nobody fucking asked you.
I'm just telling you.
But no, this is, you can talk about recording practices or Deflategate. This is the most despicable thing that the fucking Patriots have done yet, is hiring him.
I don't know. Tight end kind of killed a guy. I think that's a little bit worse. Unless he really deserved it.
That
He
wasn't
deserved it?
really
Technically, he killed 2 guys.
2 guys. That's right.
Yeah.
That was
himself.
kind of an off the field thing. That wasn't really a football related. As far as in the NFL, he was a member of the team who killed a couple of guys, I believe.
Okay.
Allegedly. He
Allegedly.
hadn't exhausted all his appeals yet.
They were sick.
All right, we got to get these last 2. We got to get through the last 2. The first one I'm going to go over, or before we get into our lock of the week, the Broncos and the Raiders. Raiders.
Wow.
The Raiders. A lot of people say they look good. They do now have a running back, which is great. But good for them. They won their first game without Antonio Brown. The Denver Broncos need a lot of help. Mm-hmm. They need a lot of help.
I thought that defense was going to be a lot better with Vic Fangio coming over, and they were bad.
They were bad.
Yeah.
And Flacco is what we all knew Flacco was going to be, which is
Ooh,
bad.
He's bad.
So they're fucked.
I think I've just made decisions. I'm just not going to do a whole lot of numbers anymore. I'm just going to keep on moving on.
I had Oakland actually finishing better than Denver in the division. So I had Denver at dead last.
Probably smart, actually. We'll see if that.
I knew neither one was going to be very good. I don't understand why they made that a Monday night game.
Especially the last one. Well, that makes sense, actually, because the last one, everybody's already fallen asleep. The first one was probably the game of the week.
That was the best. Yeah, that was incredible.
Houston Texans at New Orleans.
Hey, we got to that.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, are we going to talk about that?
Yeah, we're going to get to
you
that.
You hadn't said if we were going to get to that or not.
We are going to get to it, and then we're going to go through the last. This is going to be a long show. Sorry, and you're welcome at the same time. The Texans going to New Orleans. That was the best game. That should have been the game to end on throughout the whole week because it was exceptional.
When Deshaun Watson, I didn't realize he had 4 fourth quarter comebacks last year, 4 or 5.
Oh, I don't know, but that sounds about right.
And he literally 2 throws, a throw to Fuller and a throw to Stills, and he's down the field in fucking 40 seconds or 35 seconds for the touchdown. It was, and there's 50 seconds left or 40 seconds left, and it
was like 38 seconds left.
And you're like, man, that's enough time for Drew Brees.
That's exactly
that is enough time.
Okay.
And the crazy thing was when they scored that touchdown,
right?
He missed the extra point.
Correct.
And then they called roughing the kicker. And then he got another shot at it.
Right.
And then kicked the extra point to go ahead by 1.
Okay, here's my question to both of you. If he would have missed that kick and that would have been upheld, tie ball game with 38 seconds left, do you think Drew Brees tries to march down the field to win? You think so?
That's what Drew Brees has done his whole career.
I completely understand, but you're at home and you take the knee, go out there, and then take the knee and go into overtime. Do you risk that, or do you think, because there's a lot of people that are out there making this argument, like
your defense just let that guy go down in 2 plays in 40 seconds and score a touchdown. Mm-hmm. You fucking don't take a chance of that happening again in overtime, because those receivers, Kenny Stills, Will Fuller, DeAndre Hopkins, they can burn. That's probably the best receiving core in the fucking league.
And you're
close to it.
If you take the chance with overtime, you are betting everything on a coin flip.
Yes, that's correct. I agree. I would have done the exact same thing that the Saints did, but that's something that's been going around. Like, if it was a tie game, do you push it and try to make it?
In that situation, given what the situation is, I would not. I would try to do everything to avoid overtime.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Then again, I would have liked to have seen another tie.
Fair. Okay.
Because that tie actually might come into play at the end of the year if they'd have tied.
Well, that was our week 1 recap. Now we get to make our locks of the week, which is a new segment. So here we go. Let's go.
Oh, Jesus.
The Unfiltered Sportscast Locks of the Week.
So we're going to kind of do this again. Guys, this is our locks of the week, and I made a boo-boo and didn't push a button, and we already know what we are all going to pick. But we're going to start with Derek for our NFL Week 2 locks of the week. Go.
We're talking the wreck?
The wreck.
I'm going to go with the easy win, New England over Miami.
Yeah.
Miami's that bad. Whatever the spread is, take it. You're fine. Miami usually plays them competitively, but this week I would. Miami's just terrible. I would take the Red Sox over the Dolphins at this point.
Yeah.
They're just awful.
But for what it's worth, last year in December, the last time the Patriots played in Miami was the miracle return that made the Dolphins end up winning that game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's fine.
You don't
they
give a
don't have
shit.
8 of those players are gone.
I was going to say, this just seems like a different Dolphins team because it is.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty awful, actually. So
I heard they were getting Ray Finkel back.
yeah. Oh well, then
And Snowflake.
yeah. Such a sports nut, huh?
I tried to set you up, man. I put it on a fucking tee and you Cody Parkey that shit.
Laces out. Go. What do you got?
I'm taking the Ravens over the Cardinals.
Nice.
Why?
Ravens are better birds. They are. They got poems written about them. They can talk.
Yeah.
And every type of Cardinal sucks.
Not
Everyone.
No.
Including the Louisville one with teeth.
But not the baseball one.
Yeah. No,
All of
they
them.
suck. Both of them right there on that bat.
Fuck you both.
Right across the front. Both of
No.
them on each end of the bat.
No.
Take turns sucking each other's dicks. That's what Cardinals do. They suck each other's dicks.
The Cardinal way.
Yeah, shut up.
I got plenty of videos from what was that thing you went to? Zoophilia?
Zubilee, dude.
Yeah, that. From
Actually,
Zubilee.com, I've got plenty of fucking videos of Cardinals sucking each other off.
so actually, those two picks were my first and second choice for what I was going to pick. But I'm going to go with the Texans against the Jaguars. Jacksonville goes into Houston, especially with Houston coming off of a really tough loss. I think that Deshaun Jackson, he's got that whole wide receiving core. You can compare that offense to Kansas City, and I just don't see him losing that game, especially with Nick Foles not coming back. And even though that quarterback's pretty decent, watching the Chiefs kind of walk all over him. And being in Jacksonville, now Jacksonville's going to be in Houston with a very comparable offense with a pretty decent defense as well. So I will take the Texans for my week 2 lock of the week.
I feel like I've said this before, but Texas, the Texans are very comparable to Kansas City's offense, especially when you look at the numbers and the number of players. On each. They're very similar numbers.
Yeah.
Right around 11.
Right around 11? Good deal.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That was much funnier the first time.
sorry. I didn't.
Back before you learned how to push buttons.
I know.
You always push
That's
my
all
fucking
you
buttons.
do. That's why we have you here, is to push buttons, and you didn't push buttons.
I pushed one, just not the other one.
So apathetic towards you right now.
I know. Well, okay. But before the end of the show, we like doing another segment that we started a couple episodes ago and keep on getting a lot of positive reinforcement. So we like to call this one the shitty situation. Okay, the shitty situation is kind of our rendition, which I did figure out we could use Would You Rather, but it really doesn't matter. But we call it the shitty situation. So, yeah, that's basically what it is.
Did you actually pay to consult an attorney about that?
Maybe.
I
Didn't necessarily
guess our paychecks are coming up short this week,
pay,
right?
but asked a generic question. However, the shitty situation for the week is, would you rather spend $10,000 to get a nosebleed seat in last year's Super Bowl, or spend your life savings on a highly touted boxing fight that ends in less than 1 minute? Derek, go.
Well, I would have to go with the boxing match.
Really?
Yes. I love a good knockout.
Yeah.
My wife, not so much. But it's her fault for mouthing off. I would say you get the undercard with the boxing match, so you'll get to see other fights. Sometimes those undercards are fun to watch. I would have paid anything to back in the 90s to sit right in front of Tyson in a Tyson fight and watch him knock a guy out in less than a minute. And if it's a snooze fest of a Super Bowl, at least you got the commercials if you're watching at home.
Yeah.
You don't have that if you're there.
Well, you just don't have the commercials that day. You have them for the rest of the year.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go back and fast forward the game to get to the commercials.
You don't. They're on all year, just on other shit.
Not all of them.
Some of them are like Super Bowl exclusives.
That's it.
Oh, well, then YouTube that shit.
And plus, I don't think I would ever pay $10,000 to see fucking Maroon 5.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
There is that.
Because that's about how much that ticket is.
I think it was about $10,000 for the nosebleed.
That's just too much. But anyways,
I'd rather pay $20,000 not to see Maroon 5. So,
Yeah.
well, aren't you just fucking wealthy as fuck?
Yes.
Go, Jeremy.
I would pick the boxing match as well. 5 reasons, and all of them maroon. But no, that game was no good. And with football, the best seats are always from your fucking couch. I mean, you're never going to get that good of a view of a football game any other time. And
unless they're sitting behind you at a preseason game.
and well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, no, they were there. They weren't on my couch. They wish they were on my couch. I wouldn't let them sit there. I paid for that fucking couch. But no, unless my team is playing in the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
I just watch it to be watching it. I mean, because it's like closing out the season. There's no fantasy football typically that goes along with that unless you get into
FanDuel.
DraftKings or whatever. Yeah. But no, I would much rather, go to a hyped championship fight, even if it was over soon. I mean, that's still a part of history. You still got to see knockouts are fun to watch. And even if I didn't like who won, life saving, I'm at $600.
And a tree.
I think both of you
That's
guys
where most of it
are
went.
fucking nuts. I think you're fucking crazy. And we make this clear. It's last year's Super Bowl.
Yes.
So it's the absolutely boring
Probably
game.
the most boring Super Bowl ever.
One of them,
Yeah.
if not the most boring Super Bowl. But yeah, this is Rams Patriots. Patriots end up winning. I am super pissed off already because I just don't want the Patriots to win. But I would hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, go to the Super Bowl. And the main reason why is because the Super Bowl is not just the game. It's the entire week, right? That entire area has blown up out of proportions that I don't think I could understand. That entire area is a whole new culture at that point in time. You're in history, like you were talking about with boxing, history for football as well. Even if it is a shitty game, I don't think. Yeah, they'll probably know it as the shitty game, but everybody's going to know who won. It would be an experience that I would forever remember, just like the boxing match, but the boxing match only lasting a minute, even with the undercard shit. Your undercard shit does not surmount to me being there for a fucking week with the entire area and culture and stuff like that. It's like a fucking parade for a week that's just nonstop football, and I would love every bit of it, even if it was 2 teams I could really give a fuck about, which was exactly what last year's Super Bowl was.
That surprises me about you, Scotty. I never thought you'd miss an opportunity to watch Shirtless Man.
No, I'm good.
Huh.
I'm good.
All right, well.
So,
You're full of surprises.
yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
So,
We found out the bi-curious thing earlier.
right.
Bikes!
I thought... I would have thought you were full-blown bi all the way.
No, straight as an arrow.
Huh.
But anyways, any of you guys have anything else to add on to this glorious episode of Week 1?
I'd like to talk more about being bi-curious if we could.
Bikes!
Well, there is that, and I can understand if you're bi, but
No,
bi-curious?
bike curious.
Oh, Huffy, all the way.
No.
I have no curiosity about that. Huffy is the finest
Mongoose,
fucking
Schwinn.
Oh, fuck that. No.
Murray.
When it comes to Huffy, you're not just limited to the streets.
Okay.
However, Scotty would like to ride DeMarco Murray. Or be ridden by DeMarco
Jesus
Murray.
Christ.
I figure you for a power bottom.
This is just never going to end. But that's okay.
Well, not if you don't say we're done. I mean, Jesus.
Well, guys, do us a favor and follow our sponsor. We actually do have a sponsor for the show. We actually have a couple. StrikeForceEnergy.com has been our longest sponsor. It is an excellent product. It is an energy drink that comes in a packet that you can add to any beverage. They come in a box full of 10 packets. They come also in 4 different flavors. They've got lemon, orange, grape, and original, which we call Nick Foles.
Don't drink the original, you'll break your collarbone.
Exactly. But it is an excellent product. I've got friends in the military that have been using it for years. They swear by it. Check them out at StrikeForceEnergy.com and use the promo code NOMORECANS to get your order 20% off. And they deliver everywhere in the entire world. So it's, it's good. Good stuff. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah. And you can follow us on Facebook.
Oh.
At the Unfiltered Sportscast. We are also on YouTube. All of our episodes are recorded. And
Shit, I was picking my nose.
and you can watch us on
I have been
Facebook.
scratching the hell out of my balls this whole episode. I didn't think anybody was watching.
You've been scratching my balls, too.
Judging by the numbers, you're not.
But you can check us out on YouTube. Also follow us on Twitter, which is at Unfiltered Crew. I have actually started to pay a little bit more attention to that one. And then Instagram, the Unfiltered Sportscast. You can check us out all those places. And make sure whenever you do subscribe and follow to click the notification button. So that way you know when we share something absolutely ridiculous or inappropriate, you may enjoy it. But that's all we have for today. We will see you guys week 2, and I hope my locks don't suck, or my lock doesn't suck. I hope Miami fucking wins. That'd be awesome, though. But anyways,
No.
Yeah. We always like to say, guys, if you like us, please do us a favor, tell your friends, and if you don't like us,
May an army of fire ants crawl up your pee hole.
if you don't like us,
Tell your enemies.
and until next time, guys,
Take that filter off and make it dirty.
we will see you next time. Take care.